Well, good morning, folks. Good morning. I'm kind of late making this video, but I was kind of undecided. How is everyone doing, first of all? Thank your Heavenly Father for waking up this morning, because I sure do every morning. And yeah, as you can see, it's raining. It's pouring here in Orlando. Pouring. Look at it. It's coming down. Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. I was reading this article about this soldier, a veteran that was detained by ICE, and apparently he's still there. This gentleman, I don't know exactly what he was taking it for, but one of the reasons he's not a citizen and of the United States. Yes, he was in the war and all this kind of stuff. He was in the military. Apparently he had applied for citizenship, but he was denied. I don't know the reason why. They didn't say, but it seems like it's a whole lot to this story that is not put out. Anyway, some folks are saying, in the comments, yes, this is me, hello. Some folks are saying or asking the question, well, when you go into the military, or they're saying, not even asking, saying, a lot of these people are civilians. They're saying when you go into the military, you become a citizen. No, that is not true. You do not become a citizen like that. You have to apply for citizenship and be granted citizenship in order to be a citizen of the United States. I don't know about the other countries, but the United States, because I had to do that. It didn't matter how long I was in there, I had to apply for it. If you don't apply for citizenship, you are not going to be considered a United States citizen. So all that's BS. I don't know where some of these people getting their information, or they thinking or whatever. No, you have to apply and be granted citizenship. You cannot have no criminal record. You hear what I just said? No criminal record, no criminal activity. I don't know what this gentleman did or whatever. Some are saying he was taken in by mistake or whatever. I have no idea. You all know what is going on. All this stuff is going on. I don't know why he was taken in. And, I suggest him and his wife, they try to find some kind of lawyer or something. I don't know if it'll help, but that's just my suggestion. And others commented saying the same thing. But no, just because you joined the military, or you're in the military, or you went to war for the country, you don't just automatically, become a citizen. You have to apply for it. And getting citizenship is a great advantage for the individual, male or female. It helps you with getting a lot of stuff. Example, promotion wise, to a higher rank, job with more pay or something, but of course you have to go to school for all this kind of training. But becoming a citizen, it helps you to get into places that you wouldn't have gotten into if you was a non-citizen. Even though that you are in the military or you serve or whatever, being a citizen helps a great deal. There are a lot of advantages of becoming a citizen of the United States, not just in the military, but period. You know what I'm saying? Period. So I don't understand why there are so many people that is in the United States. They've been here for years, donkey years, and they work and they do this and they do that. They buy homes, own businesses, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, they have their green card, but don't y'all think it's wise to apply for your citizenship and actually be safe? Now y'all are worried about getting deported and this and that and that and that. Times has changed. This is life. Everything changes after a while. You cannot just sit back and relax. You have to get up and do the do. If you want to advance in life, you yourself have to get up and do the do. You cannot just sit back moping around or doing whatever the hell you're doing and not trying to get some secured status. Yeah, you having the green card, yeah, you okay, but now look what's going on now. Look what's going on now. Why be in a country for so many years and you don't apply for your citizenship? Why not? Why not? What is the problem? Everybody has different problems. I know that. But the big question is, why not apply for it? Getting your citizenship is a security blanket more than the green card. When you get the citizenship, you don't even need to use the green card anymore. They cut that up. Once you get sworn in and stuff, they cut the green card up. Well, they cut mine. They didn't give it back. They cut it. I had to put it in a box. They kept it. Then they tell you to go get your American passport. You know what I'm saying? You have to fill out paperwork and stuff to do that. They even take your old passport. No, they gave me back my old passport, but they cut a side of it. This was many years ago. I don't know how they do it now, but this was many years ago. I was in New York City. I'm dead serious. And how I happened to go do my citizenship, well, my dad, God rest his soul, he's the one who brought home the application and he handed them to me. I gave them to my siblings. I don't know if they did anything with theirs. That's not my business. But I filled mine out. I was in the military at the time, and a sergeant in the military, when I was in the military at the time, and one of my sergeants told me, why don't you apply for citizenship? Do you know you'll get promoted if you stay the way you are with a green card? You're not going to advance in the military. You're not going to advance here in the United States, period. So I was grateful. My dad gave me the forms and I filled them out. And you'd be surprised how many questions they ask you. But I have a vivid mind. My mind, I remembers a lot. I remember a lot. And plus, I don't destroy paperwork, that I had over the years. I keep personal paperwork. I keep all that information. A lot of people throw theirs away and all that kind of stuff. It's not good to do that. It's good to save all that. Put it in a safe place because you never know when you might need it. And you see, especially now, you need a lot of that paperwork that you probably threw out to prove this and prove that. So it's not good to throw out paperwork, your personal paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Keep it in a safe place. That way, because your memory, your mind, you don't remember everything. You remember a lot of things, but you don't remember certain things. I remember stuff from when I was like 6 years old, probably further than that. My mind is so sharp. I remember a lot of stuff. I remember dates, stuff like that. I remember faces. I remember a lot, but some people, their mind is not equipped like mine. Everybody is not equipped. Their mind is not really equipped like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to keep your personal records. Keep all of that paperwork. Keep it. Keep it. You don't have to put it in a safe or nothing like that. You can keep it and put it in a folder. You can put it in a big suitcase. You could just store it where it won't be destroyed, where you could find it. And when you're ready to fill out forms or whatever, you can go right back in there and look up stuff. And bingo, you got all your information right there. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people, they get comfortable where they at. And then they start throwing out this and throwing out that. No, don't do that. Don't do that because you never know. You might need it later on. Even if you don't need it, just keep it. Me, I'm keeping all of my personal papers until the day I die, because when I die, all my stuff is going to be right there. I might not need it, but it's going to be right there. Yeah. So, I don't know what's going to happen to this veteran, but, his wife, I guess she's the one going to have to go seeking here, there, wherever. I don't know if she's going to get any answers or whatever, but he is held in ICE because he's supposed to be deported back to wherever he came from. But in the meantime, it's 3 weeks now. He's being held somewhere. So I don't know. And there are a lot of other veterans, soldiers that's in that situation too. A lot. I remember sometime back, it was this Spanish guy, he served in the military and everything. He was in the war and all of that, but he wasn't a citizen. They deported him right back to where he came from. He was Spanish. I don't know, whatever. This was before this stuff came out that's coming out now in 25. He was deported long time. Not too long ago, but But and he had it on the news and stuff like that, but I don't know whatever became of that, because I never even heard nothing about him returning back to the United States. And then I was also reading, there are several Spanish people that went back, that veterans that got deported back to Mexico because they not citizens. And then they probably had, because they didn't really give all the details, but some of them have criminal records too. So folks, this is what's going on now. This is the law now. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on. So get it out of your head that those people that join the military, that's in the military, went to war or whatever, they automatically become citizens. No, they don't. No, they don't. If that was the case, I wouldn't have to apply. I wouldn't have to fill out forms and apply. I went to 26 Federal Plaza and put my paperwork in. This is in New York City. And they were, they call you for at the time it was $50 when I did mine. Now it's a lot of money. It's like rent money. And when I got called to, go answer my 10 questions, they give you 10 questions. I don't know how much they give you now. And you need to know current events, especially current events. You need to know the how many states the United States has. You need to know a lot. They have a booklet that you can read and stuff like that. I would suggest studying it where you're going to try to memorize the stuff, because they ask you all sorts of different questions. They might just ask you one question out of that booklet. They didn't really ask me much out of the booklet. They ask you like who was the first president. They ask you stuff like that. They ask you a whole bunch of different stuff that you'll be so surprised. See, like P. Diddy, Mr. Combs, his case is a big case right now. They could ask you something like that. What is going on in it? What is the latest thing that's going on in the news right now? They could ask you anything. That's why you need to tune into YouTube, watch the news. You need to know what's going on around you and around the world. They can ask you something about what's going on out, like the war, what's going on right now. They can ask you anything. But at the time, I was given 10 questions. I was allowed to miss 3, and I only missed 2. So I got lucky. I was so nervous, because this is something that I wanted to get. Well, anybody would want to get that. And me, I get real nervous, so I was very nervous. My anxiety was kicking in, and at that time, I didn't even know that I suffer with anxiety. But I passed, And then I got another date. I had to wait. Then I got another date to go down to the courthouse. That was the Eastern District. Now, they do it in Queens and different places. But when I went, it was people there from all over the place, all over, different countries, islands, everything. People all dressed up in their Sunday best and stuff like that. And, then you lined up, and then they call you into like a courtroom. And, there's this man, I guess he's like a judge, he sits, like when you go into a courtroom, they have the benches or the chairs, and then you see like the desk part where the judge be sitting, and then it say, in God we trust, the sign is up there. Well, it was the judge, he was an immigrant also, but he was a citizen. And Caucasian man, and he sat up there and he spoke and everything. Then we all stood up, and we had to put our hand up and say the oath and everything. Everybody was happy, crying, laughing, smiling, all that kind of stuff. And then it's a great experience, I'm telling you. So I don't know why people would come into this country. I don't know about the other countries, how they do their stuff. But here in America, I don't know why they would have people, which they still do, living in this country for so many, 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 many years. And they didn't or wouldn't go and apply for citizenship. Like I just said, everybody has all sorts of different reasons. But I don't know. I don't know. But I suggest that folks, y'all get up and go apply for that. If you don't have it, or if you didn't already, go and apply for it. because it's not a joke. It's not a joke anymore. It's not a joke anymore. This is some serious stuff. Get your SHIT together. Seriously. So I'm going to end my video right now. Have a blessed Monday. Another Monday approaches, another week. Peace.